it was cheating on my girlfriend, but I guess it's led to being one of my better decisions in life, and that's not because of the action that I did, but it was because that was the action that made me understand that I didn't want to be like my father.
There really isn't any kind of justification for what I had done, but it was heartbreaking for me.
I mean, I know mine, but I don't know if I can say that to the public.
Being a surgeon, bro, 100%. It's nice on paper, sucks being a surgeon. A lot of hardships, a lot of deaf people, a lot of hard decisions. It's killing me. That's why I got my depression, bro. That's why I'm escaping into VRC to talk with random people and befriend them.
I mean, I'm not gonna go to jail or anything. I mean, why not? The worst decision I ever made was believing a married man was in love with me. I should not have believed him.
In high school, I was pretty close with a couple of different girls, but especially in my last year of high school, when I moved on to a different school, I was friends with a girl, and but I made it clear to her, because it was the last year of high school, that it wasn't going to go anywhere, that we were going to move abroad, and that was that. However, it came to the time of our prom, and I asked her out. It was a really romantic, like, I did a little cute thing with a box filled with gummy bears and a little note saying, "Will you go to prom with me?" And she had to scrape past all the gummy bears to get to the note. Anyway.
Telling my grandpa that I hated him, and I was only like 8, and then like 2 days later he died.
Oh my god.
And then I felt like for about like, I don't know, I was 8, so 10 years.
And I don't think I should have made it so romantic. I guess I led her on to believe that I viewed her as something more than a friend. So anyway, we get to our prom, we have a great time. But that night, there was also the after prom, which is where there's a party, and we get to the party, and it was at our friend's house. I'm going to, enjoy this as much as I can. It's a final couple days of high school, and I'll be leaving the country anyway, so why not? That's the wrong kind of thinking. Absolutely the worst and most scumbag way of thinking I've had, but it wasn't even the tip of the iceberg.
My decision to get pretty much completely addicted to video games. When I was younger, I read a lot and I did a lot of very important things towards academic progress, and then I started playing video games, and now here I am. I'm
walking in on my mom and dad while they're
way behind academically. I don't know a damn thing, and I'm only just now starting to turn my life around when I could have been far ahead of most of my peers and far ahead of where I am now if I just kept reading books.
I fall for this girl. During our sexual encounter night, the second one, I really developed feelings for this girl, and even though it was long distance, we keep talking, and she was like, "Hey, I'm a lesbian." I'm like, "What? How? Where? Okay, fine." So I'm like, "I like you." She's like, "Okay, cool, you're not gonna get anything out of this." I'm like, "Yep, I know."
When I was 17, me and my older brother and my dad, we went to, we were going to California to visit family, and on our way to California, we stopped in Vegas, alright?
So we keep talking, and eventually, she admits her feelings for me. We get to dating, and this girl, Zed, was the most knowledgeable, smart, funny girl that I've ever dated in my life. I mean, saying this 2 years after we broke up, she's still incredible. Really, really amazing girl.
Me and my older brother are walking down the strips of Las Vegas, and we've run across this guy. He's a really cool guy. He's got a beer in his hand. He's like, "Hey boys, come with me. Join me at the White Rabbit."
What happened next was the biggest regret and heartbreak of my life. The same buddy that I crashed with after prom, I tell him about the sexual encounter that I had during the summer because I was over the moon. I mean, this girl was now my girlfriend, and I had to tell someone. But did I? That's where the crux of the question lies, because I really didn't, and I told him, and 6 months down the line, me and Zara are thinking about getting engaged.
So me and my older brother, we go inside of the White Rabbit, and we're just hanging out with this guy, kind of like talking with some chicks, just having a good old time, It's one of the nicest clubs in Vegas, right? Comes to the point where I've had a few drinks too many. I was talking to a chick and got her to come back to my hotel with me. So, cool. Like, all's well, or all seems well, right? Right?
I'm picking out rings, and I picked out my ring. I bought it on Amazon. Because, I'm 18. I can't afford to buy rings. Not on my parents' allowance, anyway. So, I bought my own ring, and I'm asking her for her ring size. And she's like, "Yeah, my ring size is this and that." And that same night, she gets a call from my buddy, the one that I crashed the night with, the same guy that I told about the sexual experience. So I'm like, okay, cool. I completely forgot all about telling him. She comes back, she's like, we need to talk. I'm like, oh my god, what is it? What have I done?
I wake up the next morning and then just roll over and I'm like, oh, cool. She's a blonde. She's a blonde. All right. And then I leave Vegas. Want to know what the girl gave the boy? The girl gave the boy crabs, my man.
Remember, kids, always use protection.
She's like, you told him about the sexual experience that we had. I'm like, I totally forgot. That's I'm sorry. I didn't think it would be such a big deal. She's like, well, it is. And you kind of broke our trust. And trust was a major part of our relationship, and I could see why she would flip out on me. Well, now, you know, down the line, I can see how I betrayed her expectations.
As a kid, I would have known my father before he passed away. I'd spend more time with him because, you know, I was a kid. I was just enjoying my life, but my dad was depressed, alone, and all he wanted to do was spend time with his kids. And we didn't know that, you know. We just wanted to hang out with our friends and play our video games.
So we get to talking about it, and I'm apologizing for the entire day. I'm saying, I'm sorry, this won't happen again. You know, all the apologetic bullshit you hear in the movies. And she's like, okay, you're forgiven. I'm like, great, fantastic. So next day, I hit her up. You know, we say our good mornings and stuff. And she seems a bit distant. I'm like, is everything okay? She's like, yeah, it's cool. I'm just busy. I'm like, okay. Second day comes by. She's really cold. And she's like, hey, we're breaking up. At this point, our engagement is a month away.
You know, something I regret, a choice that I've had to live with, you know. I feel like it's partially my fault for this passing, but I know it's not. But, you know, it's deep down there somewhere. Love my dad. He gave us what we wanted, you know. He was always there for us. It's all mattered. I do miss him a lot, but he's gone. It's nothing I can do about it, you know.
I'm like, what's this about? She's like, oh, it's about the thing a couple days ago. I'm like, so essentially, because I told our mutual friend about, you know, the time that I had the sexual experience with her. This girl who was the love of my life, my absolute world. Even now, I struggle to find relationships. Well, I don't pursue them at all, because I don't think anybody is going to match that.
Not being as social as I should be. I have no friends.
No, you have your only chance.
Cool, I cheated on someone that I could have had a potential future with.
I was too clingy with my girlfriend, and she broke up with me.
Losing somebody you love the most because of absolute stupidity. I feel like a lot of times people ask me if, you know, I had one wish, what it would be. It would probably be, you know, resetting to the point where I was telling my buddy all about it. But I do regret the fact that I let her go that easily. If that didn't go through, I think by now we probably would have been married. So
bringing weed to school.
Sending a nude. Nicotine, bro.
Or actually, it's either drugs or starting to smoke, because I've been smoking since I was 10 years old. It's hella expensive.
Drinking alcohol. Yeah, that's kinda like it was end of everything.
Probably dropping out of high school.
Deciding to leave university when I did, rather than carry on progressing with a full year extra, because essentially I ended up just wasting a year of my life on unemployment rather than finishing the actual additional bit of the course.
Going to college. Well, my thing was, not to get into a story, but I didn't really want to do anything at the time, and I hadn't gotten much work experience, but my parents, who I was living with, they wanted to, you know, help me make a decision. However, they were a little pushy, and it forced me to go spend $18,000 on a trade.
It is a hard question. What's yours?
Any mistakes.
Yeah, use it as a lesson, man.
Don't be wrong, I finished it, I got the diploma, but it's questionable if I'll ever use it. I personally don't enjoy the work all that much, even though it was, you know, good people I met, and it wasn't like it was, you know, like the work was terrible. It was good. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm young and I have a bit of a yearning to want to try new things and do new stuff, but I just have this thing where I'm not certain it's what I want to do.
Not betting on McGregor last night. I'm not much of an aggressive person, but there was one time where I lost my some kid decided to come and grab the chair from underneath me and pull it away. I got so pissed of it dealing with it. I threw the chair and I threw it up against the back of his head.
Getting together with my girlfriend? No, I just don't have any time for myself now because she's everywhere all the time. She's annoying. I'm depressed because of it. Yeah, I don't even know why I went into it to begin with. Because I don't feel like going back to using my hand.
I dated a girl. I let her push me away from all of my friends. I completely cut them off. I was a massive bitch. Basically got manipulated. All my friends told me to dump her. I didn't listen. 7 months later, she cheated on me, dumped me, and I was left alone with no friends, no girlfriend. That's probably the worst decision. Not listening to my friends.
Distancing myself from my family when I was quite young, when I was about like 12, because at the time I was just bought like a laptop for my birthday or whatever, and like I'd always like be like playing stuff on there, and I never really spent time with family at all. And like now I'm at university, living on my own. I just kind of wish I spent more time with them.
The hardest lessons in life are the hardest to learn. The most important ones.
Like, I miss my family. I miss like living with them. I miss, being with them, seeing them every day. And it's been hard living away from them.
It started off with my father being... I'm talking about my real parents there. I'm actually adopted. So, long story short, I have since recently shut down all kind of contact with my real father due to reasons that I trusted him into becoming a better person. He always seemed so happy meeting me and such, but apparently it was all fake. The worst thing to do is to trust the ones that have left you alone. In this case, it would be my real parents.
Ignoring one of my best friends when I first started dating someone.
Giving myself to someone who couldn't even care for themselves.
Love is a two-way street. You gotta give it to get it. And I was just taking, and I became very selfish.
I really loved the girl, like nothing else. I reached out to her, asking to be friends again, and we had a couple of Skype calls where we watched movies together and stuff, but it just wasn't the same. I saw that she moved on, and she, had mixed relationships after that, and I kind of never really got over her. So eventually, at one point, we just kind of stopped talking. It wasn't like anything big. It just kind of the light kind of faded out.